You saw my tender side in all those fights.
Yeah, no, it's beautiful, beautiful.
It's fighting for camera is so much different than being in the ring. And a lot of people think that I would be just an expert in front of the camera, but it's different because in wrestling you really kind of make contact on the movie set. You're not supposed to. I did in this movie a few times with some noses, but I really like
people. What? Faceless drone. Faceless drone.
Tough day at the office, but I really enjoy the dialogue, and that's what I really kind of set my sights on, trying to improve and be as best I can be. And now that I've done a few movies since Damage, I'm really kind of starting to get a sense of what it takes to prepare for a role and seeing what's not there on the page and
right.
putting those moments and those beats in there. So it's a challenge, but this was a fun movie.
And this is something that you really haven't done before. Are you terrified going onto these sets?
You know, it's a process. And from the wrestling camera, everything pretty much was about 95% ad lib and free for all for me, and just kind of a give and take type thing with different talent, and particularly Vince McMahon.
Right.
And, going to this, it's totally scripted, and the memorization process, and that's one of the things that I'm learning to do better. Just feel comfortable in my skin, relax, and be in the scene, and be totally focused. And in wrestling, you're listening to the crowd. You're doing things in the ring, and based on the response you get, you're going accordingly with the direction of the match. Right. You're not listening to anything other than the director say action, and then there you go.
Right.
And working with the people you're working with in the scene, so it can be scary at times, and I will admit that. That's one of the things I'm working on overcoming.
Right. And how hard is it to learn knowing that nobody's going to tell you if you do anything wrong?
I've run into that a few times.
Yeah. Like right now, for instance, if this was going poorly, I'd be like, this is the best interview I've ever had in my life. You were hysterical, sir.
I walked on a couple of sets, and on WWE, on Monday Night Raw, when that show's over, we don't roll credits and say, Stone Cold Steve Austin, played by Steve Austin. So people think that's who and what you are.
Right.
And sometimes I've walked on a couple of sets, and the director's like, oh, well, should I just call you Stone Cold or Steve? It's like, dude, just call me Steve. And you think I was walking around with a chainsaw and a machete. But yeah, I want to be directed because that's the only way you learn, and I want to work with the best people that I can surround myself with.
Right. Well, here's a suggestion. Maybe change your name to Stone Cuddly Steve Austin.
I thought about that.
It's a start. It's just a start. I'm just saying.